great occasion, you know, and I'm really happy to present my paper that was published a few months ago in one of the reputable journals, you know, in academia. And now, my paper was about the Islamic economic system as a remedy for the COVID-19, you know, pandemic economic repercussions. And what this paper focuses on is basically to test whether, I don't know, I'll say next. Okay, so next, all right. Okay, so the main purpose of this you know, topic or this research was to investigate the soundness of the Islamic economic system in addressing the economic implications that were experienced during the pandemic. And to do that, we have certain questions that we're going to answer. These are the things that we get so that we can, you know, be able to tell whether this system is sound, reliable, and valid. Some of the things that we ask are, does it offer a mechanism to protect the human life? Because this is important since one of the factors of economics or factors of production economics is labor, and labor comes in the nature of humans. So do we have a mechanism within the Islamic economic system to protect, you know, humans in the case in the face of pandemics? We also have the tool of zakah, which is you know, a welfare program, and we want to see whether zakah was instrumental in the recovery process of the economy, you know, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We also have a look at the prohibition of interest. You know, this is one of the core principles of Islamic economics. So now, was it in any way you know, effective in minimizing or mitigating the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, you know, specifically in the area of economics? And last but not least, we look at whether Islam offers a, you know, a formidable foundation upon which we can you know, stop or prevent economic exploitation. Now, next, okay, methodology. The main methodology or the main research design was historical, and we relied upon document analysis as the main research method, and particularly qualitative approach. We also make use of the Islamic research method, which is depending or looking at, you know, the Quran and the Hadith, as well as ijtihad as, you know, a source of information, knowledge, and evidence to support this particular you know, project. Next, let's see that. Now let's go through the findings. It's interesting to see that in Islam, we have a lot of literature in the Quran, Hadith, and in other sources that, you know, guide and offer protection for human life. Allah says in the Quran, generally speaking, He says, you know, خُذُوا إِحْذَرَكُمْ in Surah An-Nisa, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا خُذُوا إِحْذَرَكُمْ, take precautions. In another place, Allah says in the Quran, وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى تَهْلُكَ, do not throw yourself into destruction with your own hands. But it's a very specific hadith that the Prophet ﷺ says concerning a plague or an outbreak of a disease, and he said, إِذَا سَمِعْتُمْ بِالطَّاعُونِ بِأَرْضٍ, when you hear about a breakout of a pandemic in a place, فَلَا تَدْخُلُوهَا, don't go into that place. وَإِذَا سَمِعْتُمْ وَإِذَا وَقَعَ بِأَرْضٍ, and if it happens in a place, وَأَنْتُمْ بِهَا, and you are in it, فَلَا تَخْرُجُوا مِنْهَا, don't leave that place. So this is a very clear, you know, explicit measure to stop, you know, this spread of the disease. Now, interestingly, a research done by, you know, commissioned by the National Health Council of China showed that 70% of the COVID-19 patients in China, 70% of them had been in contact with people from Wuhan, where it's alleged that the virus, you know, originated from. and another 30% had actually been to that place. And that shows you how, this, mitigation process or this measure of preventing, movement out into the place when the pandemic is a very effective measure. Now, the other one is, let's stay on. Zakat system. We saw how much we had a lot of job losses and we had a lot of economic suffering because of the pandemic. We had layoffs and massive income levels going down. Yes, yeah. So what happens is we saw this evidence that in countries with practice or implement zakat, such as Pakistan, Malaysia, Bangladesh, Sudan, there was significant evidence that shows that indeed zakat was instrumental in the recovery process of COVID-19. It relieved people from suffering by providing them the necessities and so on and so forth. That's a great thing to consider. We also have the no interest policy, which which shows that during COVID-19, because of interest-free loans from Islamic banks or institutions, many SMEs were able to recover from the suffering. And then the last but not least, we find in the Islamic literature that there is good and strong prevention of economic exploitation. And Allah says in the Quran, وَلَا تَبْخَسُ النَّاسَ أَشْيَاءَهُمْ, do not deprive people of their dues. And then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, لَا يَحْتَكِرُ إِلَّا خَاطِئ, nobody hoards except that he is a sinner. And this is one of the things that we see there in that as the evidence. Next, just wind up. In the conclusion, we actually are really intrigued by the fact that not a single country that implemented these measures found in Islamic literature failed in curbing or controlling the impacts of COVID-19. So that shows that indeed the Islamic economic system is a reliable, sound, and valid system to cushion economies or countries from suffering during pandemics. And so let's go to the last one, which is about policy implementation, policy implications. And so this actually offers governments a reliable, moral, reference to somehow change their policies to be in line with the Islamic sources, because then this guarantees, a solution to what brings about suffering during the pandemics. With this, I stop and I will give the mic to the next presenter.
Thank you, Dr. Shariif.